Cobra Kai Season 4. Was it good? We are the Was It Good crew, and we're going to figure that out right now. I'm Ravi, joined by Krishna Arjuna, and Mr. Learman is over in the producer's chair. Brothers, give me your one-word impression of Cobra Kai.
Wow, we're going right into it.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
I love it.
So who's going first? Krishna, you want to go first? Or Judah?
Yeah.
Do I need to warm you guys up here?
I should be more, wow, that's weird.
I mean, normally that's what you kind of do with a podcast. Because like right before you jump on or in the intro, you're like warming everybody up, getting the dynamic in there and whatnot. But we're going in cold. So
Yeah, that's the dynamic.
my one-word impression is cold.
Cold.
Yeah.
For this pod and for Cobra
Yes,
Kai?
cold.
Wow.
Why was Cobra Kai Season 4 cold?
Well, I just felt it was cold because we actually, spoiler alert, we watched it together. We watched the entire season in one day.
Yeah, our new New Year's Day tradition
is
watch all of fucking Cobra Kai.
And it was, it was a cold day. LA has been a little frosty recently.
Yes.
And so, I was a little cold
That is
while
true.
watching it. And, I think the season was... I wouldn't say it was all cold, but I thought it was a very up and down season, and there were definitely some cold spots. I can't speak today. See, I'm cold.
Your voice is
because
cold
you
it's not
didn't
warmed
let
up.
me warm up.
Yeah.
And maybe Cobra Kai Season 4 didn't get a chance to warm up either. Maybe they went in cold.
Wow, you did it. You connected something that you just blurted out into your one-word impression.
He just talked.
Did I
himself
blurt
through
it out, or did I pre-think
memorize it.
this?
Pre-thought.
What is the thing from Precog from Minority Report?
Yeah. Precognition.
Yeah.
whatever.
Christian, have you warmed up enough to give your one-word impression?
I'm just going to piggyback off of that. My one word is going to be trip.
Trip.
The whole season was a trip.
Interesting.
I mean, it's almost episode to episode. Like the first episode, I was like, this is meh. Second episode, I was like, this is awesome. Third episode, back to meh. Fifth episode, I was like, oh, it came back up. And it was very up and down.
Almost like there was couple of arcs to it because it was 10 episodes.
Wow. Sure.
Mid-seasons, most of the time, like for a TV series, mid-season, like the beginning will like try and pull you in. The mid-season has something, and then you're just kind of waiting to get to the end.
I guess for me, this one was very jarring. Like, some shows, they have like a build-up. Things happen over 3 or 4 episodes. This one was up here, down here, up here, down here. It was like, for me, all over the place.
I have a quick question.
Get me on my toes, though.
Not to, make everything go crazy within this podcast, but this is a thought that kind of occurred to me after we watched it all at once. Do you think this season would have been better if we did not watch it all at once?
Yes.
No.
Because it does take a certain amount. It does take a certain amount of energy to sit there for 6 hours and keep your attention on one thing.
Yeah, you know what it takes? It's called a fucking hangover.
And we did have that.
There's some multiple hangovers going.
I wasn't hungover.
I started getting dehydrated again.
Well, we were drinking as well.
Right, but I had not fully recovered enough
Correct.
to warrant to start drinking again.
I mean,
and then I started getting a headache.
That is a New Year's Day tradition as old as dirt.
To watch Cobra Kai hungover.
Well, no, just
No. It's to specifically watch Cobra Kai.
You're right.
Retroactively, we've gone back in all the years and been watching Cobra Kai.
Yes.
I would say if I was watching it by myself, I would have probably been on my phone doing other things more. And to a degree, I do wonder if that would have made it a little bit more, not enjoyable, but easier to kind of consume, because I was just kind of sitting there and was staring at it with you all, and it was just kind of like a full immersive experience of Cobra Kai.
It was too much cool.
Potentially. So, possibly I would say watching it individually and or watching it piece by piece as opposed to your 6 hours or Cobra Kai.
This felt like Go ahead.
I was going to say, my counter to that, though, would be that, let's be honest, is Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Band-Aid. You want to just rip it off so you're not dealing with it over a large amount of time.
Yeah.
I think it's enjoyable because it's one and done. That's it. We watched all 10 episodes. We're doing this pod now on it, but after that, don't have to think about it for another year.
I mean, I'll think about it every night.
I will say this, though. It's also, like you say, it's Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, obviously based off of Karate Kid from the 80s.
Yeah.
Kind of your typical 80s action type movie, right? Where the story's not super, super complicated. It's, there's the bad, there's the good. I think where Cobra Kai obviously takes it to another level is they're kind of flipping on the idea of what is good,
Every
what
other
is
episode,
bad.
they're flipping.
They're flipping back and
Somebody's
forth.
flipping alliances.
And that is where I kind of get to my one-word impression, which is repeat, where season 4 very much felt like a rehash of season 3, which when you think about it, season 3 is a rehash of season 2, and season 2 is a rehash of season 1. We're consistently left with this Johnny versus Danielson, where they're always at, they're facing off against each other. They're kind of working together. They're facing off against each other. There is obviously the central theme of the Cobra Kai being the bad thing or whatever. But, this season very much felt like it ended similar to how season 3 ended, where they've come together. And then obviously at the start of season 4, by the second, third episode, they're doing their own thing again. And they hate each other. Yeah. And it's just like, that's cool, but,
very predictable.
It's very predictable.
Yeah.
And at some point, I would like the repeat to stop. I don't know if you can do that.
Well, you can when the kids finally graduate and you bring in a whole new batch of kids with a whole new storyline.
The next generation.
The middle school kids.
I'll see you at middle school. I mean, in high school.
In high school, yeah.
It was a direct quote from this.
That's Kenny's new character.
Yeah, the Kenny character. Yeah,
the Kenny character who obviously beats up
Anthony,
who finally comes back.
I will say I really enjoyed that villain arc. The turn of the villain. He got that Joker smile down by the end. So good.
I'll say this, like if we're talking like
actually.
favorite things, Kenny by far is I think the most interesting. And probably the best part of the whole season because you get to see his entire arc. You feel bad for him, right? Like it's one of those characters where you feel bad, but by the end you're just like, you're a fucking asshole, kid.
But honestly, you still understand.
But yeah, definitely.
But to me, that feeds into the repeat. Like I think Kenny's interesting, but it's a repeat of the Hawk storyline.
Oh yeah,
he is Eli from season 1. You know what I'm saying? Like here's this
or
like
Robbie
kid. Yeah, like he's all these kids get bullied and they turn into like the bullies, and then they become better and they're redeemed, and then they fall off again, and then they're still assholes, and then they're not, and mohawks and trophies.
Mohawks are shaven.
Yeah,
shaved.
Yeah,
it's
identity's lost,
and that's to me with these with the characters and the new characters especially. It's just we're filling the same voids with different characters instead of trying out new dynamics or new pairings or something. Like I guess it's interesting that they have like a LaRusso that's like a straight up dick, but cool. We have a lot of dicks in this school. Clearly. It's the Valley.
Would you argue that Daniel and his wife? What's his wife's name in it?
Amanda.
Amanda. Do you like? A lot of times, especially with these kids, they're high school and younger, right? So they're under the age of 18. They're not really considered legal adults. So a lot of their actions you can blame on the parenting. Mm-hmm. So I guess the big question here: are Daniel and Amanda terrible parents?
Yeah, I think they're. I mean,
undeniably,
I think they've been shown to be bad parents since season 1. Honestly,
it's not even that they're bad; they're just neglectful and very self-centered.
I mean, look, they work a lot because they obviously run a dealership, and then obviously starting season 1, Daniel reopens his dojo. So like he's training kids or working. Yeah. He's not there for his own kids.
Right.
And like you definitely see that through Sam, and obviously I think you're seeing that more even through this season. And then even like Amanda, she takes time to like mother another character instead of her own daughter.
Specifically the character of Tori, who tried to stab / murder / break in
twice.
Like very bad human being that should be in jail at the end of the day.
Honestly, she's a minor, so
juvie.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised none of our one-word impression was police, or because there was no police.
Lack of police.
There was finally a police presence in the last episode for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and that was a frame job. Which was, by the way, I just want to say, besides Kenny, I thought the introduction of Terry. He was also another over-the-top villain, and just like Kenny, had I thought a wonderful arc into full-on insanity, just like we see in Karate Kid 3.
Yep.
Obviously, it mirrors that. I never saw Karate Kid 3. This is just what they tell me.
You've never seen Karate Kid 3?
No.
I'm not gonna lie, it might be my favorite.
Really?
A lot of people hate it, but part of the reason I like it is because this cocaine-fueled nut job.
Nut job,
And I remember, like, as a kid when I saw it, like, He even says, the character even says it in the show, like,
Yeah,
what was wrong with you? Us chasing after a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, I'm
for
sorry.
some weird revenge scheme for a high school, like, karate
He's like,
competition.
I'm sorry, I was hyped up on cocaine.
Well-
I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, what's interesting is Ralph Macchio has talked about in some of the press around season 4 about his dislike for Karate Kid 3, and there was a lot of like issues with that movie in terms of the script and like what they wanted to do versus what the studio wanted to do. And like ultimately the movie was kind of rushed, and then a lot of people, the main criticism of that movie is that it felt like a rehash of Karate Kid 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's what we're
There's
running
a
into
theme
here,
here.
right?
There's a
Where like
theme.
Cobra Kai is now becoming a rehash because, you know, as fun and as great as the concept of Karate Kid is, it's like how much of the same story can you mine and for how long before it ultimately turns into insanity. And
or just a soap opera.
one thing I did appreciate about this season was they leaned into the insanity and like the soap opera-ness and recognized it as well. Like there's multiple times the characters are like, everything we're doing is crazy, but we just have to continue. Like Daniel and Amanda, I think in episode 1 are like, I never thought like a year ago that the like fate of a karate tournament would determine the safety of our lives. But here we are.
Yeah, something absurd like that.
You know,
yeah.
it's like, well,
That was Amanda.
Yeah.
That was Amanda who says that.
right.
Yeah.
I still think, like, season 3 is still somewhat superior to this season.
Yeah.
You got interesting things, I think, with, like, Kenny and you, kind of how he connects to the whole big picture of the Cobra Kai universe, if you will. But, like, last season, you know, we got the flashbacks for
Kreese. Those
Kreese,
are
which
really
I think were
good.
super impactful and very
That's true.
important, kind of like understanding, explaining that character. I do kind of wish we saw a little bit more, like we saw a little bit in terms of flashbacks between Terry and Kreese and like growing up together, you know, post Vietnam. But I do wish there was a little bit more to kind of add to their story. Granted, Karate Kid 3 is supposed to kind of help you feel a little bit of that, you know, they kind of owe each other and all that fun stuff. But I do wish like we got a little bit more, perhaps.
I
in
thought
terms of
Kreese
that
was
stuff.
like the one of the most underserved characters in season 4.
He just stood around a lot.
yeah, and it felt like with season 3, especially as he kind of transitioned to taking over Cobra Kai, they were still trying to redeem him with his relationship with Tori. This one, they tried to again kind of make him full on villain. They tried to make Terry more of the sympathetic guy.
Yeah.
Well, to start with.
Yeah, to start with at least,
Yeah.
right? And then obviously it switches throughout, and it felt kind of abrupt where he like finally is like, oh, Johnny's getting his ass beat when like he beat his ass at the end of season 3. So I was a little confused by that characterization. I was like, wait, you like beat him to a pulp, and now you feel bad for him because he's getting beat?
Well, I mean, that was a long time ago. Maybe he feels remorse.
Yeah, a month or two. You're right.
It was a long time. Well, I guess that was the. Yeah, never mind.
Right,
I thought you meant when he was a kid. When Johnny was a kid.
Remember
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end
yeah.
of season 3? The
I
fight.
actually don't remember a lot of
There's
season
a fight.
3.
There's the fight. The fight between Kreese and Johnny,
Yeah.
and then Daniel comes in and saves
That's right.
him, and then that's when they decide. They're like,
Yeah.
Let's make this
right.
interesting.
And now all of a sudden he feels something for Johnny getting.
Yeah,
his
because
ass-
somebody else was beating up his pet.
Yeah.
I guess
It's abuse.
I mean, you know, they explained it with Terry revealing what Cruz's Kreese's weaknesses.
Johnny.
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 That's his weakness, yeah.
Yeah.
My
time.
favorite line was Terry was like, "You made a lot of mistakes," and Kreese is like, "What mistakes?"
Yeah. I mean, I love that, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I just love the hokiness of it.
Yeah.
It's just so over the top and ridiculous. And, you know, and like you said, the fact that they are going full on soap opera mode, that's how you'll get 25 seasons of this. Because every soap opera is just a rehash. It's the same storyline.
The creators said they have an ending. They have an ending in mind.
They do?
They do have like an end date, but they said hopefully Netflix gives us the seasons.
Wait, what does that mean?
Oh my god.
To get there, right? So we do know for a fact that they were renewed for a 5th season. They actually wrapped filming the 5th season in the middle of December.
Wait, they already filmed
So
the 5th season?
that the 5th season actually might ruin that. This production might ruin our tradition because the 5th season might come out before New Year's of 2022. It might come out.
It's very like
summer.
Voltron-esque, like push.
Yeah, there's a
Which
lot.
is kind of interesting.
They're pushing it out pretty quickly now.
Maybe they also realized, like, let's hurry up and get done with this shit.
Well, I think also like and you're seeing it with these actors. The actors are playing the kids.
aging.
They're growing up
age,
fast.
They age
Yeah.
fast, right? And remember,
Growth spurts
we've done
galore.
4 seasons, but it's only been a year,
Yeah.
right? Versus they've filmed this over 4 years now. So like you
That
see
is
it
a
with like
huge
Anthony,
issue.
like the actor
Anthony's
that
a great
plays
example,
Anthony,
yeah.
right? He went from like a really small kid to like I'm a high schooler,
I have a voice
right?
Yeah.
that went through puberty.
He grew literally 2 feet.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
it seems
But he
like
was
went
also
from-
kind of. He wasn't really in. Was he even in season 2 or 3?
No, they kept him, I think, hidden.
No,
for
he
this
was
very reason.
he was in one episode of season 3,
Right.
and then he was like a guest
Yeah.
appearance for season 3 and recurring for seasons 1 and
And I
2.
think they did that on purpose, is to so you don't see the changes,
You
the
did.
overnight changes,
Right.
too quickly.
yeah.
Do you like? I obviously mentioned one of my favorite parts being Kenny's story and kind of his arc and his downfall into darkness. Was there anything in this season that was like that stuck out to you as like very interesting or favorite to you guys?
I thought one of the characters that was underserved in season 3 that got a lot more time to shine was Robbie in season 4. So like season 3, remember he's in juvie for a while. Nobody gives a shit about him. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, is anyone
He's on the
gonna
back
help him?
burner. Yeah.
He was really a back burner. This season, like I thought he was one of the strongest parts of the season. Just to see kind of his characterization, you know, him trying to lean into like none of these ways are right. Like you're all kind of crazy and trying to use it now. Like
Use it for his own.
he
yeah.
predictably kind of got like rushed, you know, kind of swept into the Cobra Kai stuff and, you know, inadvertently made Kenny into like a bully / you know, bad guy. So that I thought that was interesting. I'm just interested to see now where they go with the character and how they continue on with that. Seems like we've finally gotten some like path to mend, you know, like some mending path for him and Johnny, but then Johnny at the end of the season runs off to Miguel. So like is Robbie going to be like, "Hey, oh, you're gone again." And then it's like again, we're cycling back through the like are they going to, you know, finally fix their relationship? Are they not? It's like the show always takes, you know, 2 steps forward, 1.5 steps back, you know.
Where it repeats itself.
Yeah, or you think you're finally resolving, but then it goes back and does the same story again. Like Daniel and Johnny are the perfect example of that. Like every season they get to a point where they're going to work together, and then something always brings them back. And they spend another half season getting back together, and then they don't get back together, and then they do, and then they don't. They should just kiss already. You know, there's a sexual tension
you
there.
just say that multiple times. So the thing that I always liked about this show, and I thought they did a pretty good job in this season, I think maybe better than previous seasons, is the show. The theme of the show is the 2 styles, right? Clashing, coming together, clashing again, and that's basically offense and defense, or you know.
Strike first.
The strike first, aggressive, and then the defensive react, calm, you know, all that good stuff. And you know, and you can see like every character falls somewhere on that path, right? And some like move, some switch sides, some have learned how to do both now. And so I think with the 2 dojos coming together, then splitting, then having as well like the kids, some of them switching camps, right, and learning other styles. I thought that I really enjoyed that part of it. And it someone said there wasn't as much martial arts in this one, and that is, I agree with that. In this season, there seemed to be
Yeah, because we didn't have any big ass break-ins and fights.
There was no huge fights,
there
and
was there was none of that.
that's a shame because it would have been cool to see more of that that conflict play out in a physical setting. Besides the last 2 episodes, but that makes me hopeful then for future seasons where. You know, hopefully like season 5, we'll see more like, okay, we've got people who've learned both, people who are set in their ways, see how it, you know, all pans out.
I will say, like the last 2 episodes, some of the tournament fighting was some of the best of the show, especially
action,
like
yeah.
seeing the 2 styles like mesh between a lot of the different fighters. You know, I thought both of the finals fights were really good, and it was cool to see like Johnny and Daniel both use. Both not just the fighting styles, but the philosophies too, as the show kind of went on, where they're striking first, or you see, you know, Johnny like defending and kind of using a little bit of Miyagi-Do.
That hockey fight when Daniel LaRusso.
Oh, that
loses
was
it,
great.
that was
great.
one of the highlights, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, all of a sudden, he's like, they insult his wife.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he just goes full Johnny, strikes first. Oh man, I think I was like,
Or even when he does
That
it
was
to his son, he
Quiet!
strikes right.
Yeah, quiet.
and
Yeah.
then breaks his iPad.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit.
That's
Right.
good parenting.
Well,
Not a parent, don't know if that's true, but
yeah.
I think it's good parenting.
Could be.
No comment.
Did you use that on Megatron?
I do.
He does, yeah.
Whenever he's mean, I take my iPad and smash it.
Over his own knee. Yeah,
No, it's tiny and fake. It doesn't exist.
Oh, man.
Miguel and Sam, they were obviously fully a couple in this season. Did it come across as a little awkward and like just it didn't feel like season 1 Sam and Miguel. It also feels weird that we're like judging a teenage relationship.
Yeah, well, I
It's
will
a big part of the show.
But Miguel has always consistently been like a shining part of the show.
Yeah.
And I felt like he was off this season. Like his not necessarily his characterization, but he felt sidelined a little bit. You know, even with obviously the tournament, he pulls out because of the injury. I thought that was like one of the most shocking moments when he goes in for the kick.
Oh, the crack as well. That was rough.
Oh my God, he just like broke his back.
Yeah.
And he's done. Like he's done. And then they're just like,
no.
They did the fake out where they're like, oh no, he's fine. I did like that they stuck with it and he didn't come back. I thought that was a cool twist, but it just felt like he was just kind of put on the back burner for a lot of the show. Even like with the martial arts and stuff. Like he was obviously the guy in season 1 that won the tournament and the championship. And this season it was just kind of like, you know, they gave the focus to other characters.
It seems like they're like if last season Robbie was on the back burner, this season it was Miguel. At some point, hopefully, they both are allowed to shine at the same time.
Yeah,
because I mean, the Robbie Miguel thing is, you know, that I feel like they have to like
fight again.
They have to fight again. That has to be. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it would be nice for them to meet again.
You're right. It's the next generation of Johnny versus Daniel.
But they're gonna both know both styles when they fight again.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like they'll be like perfect forms of.
Yeah, which will be interesting. And
do you think they'll go like Super Saiyan finally and make this show even more interesting?
They should. They should. Honestly, they're leaning into it almost.
Just be like, fuck it. They have special power from the earth or whatever.
But I think that sidelining of Miguel affected like the Miguel Sam relationship too, because it always felt like the show wasn't, when they were together, it wasn't necessarily about them being together. It was about other things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't feel like they were a believable couple. I mean, it was just kind of over. And maybe that's part of the being the cracks and them not, even though I guess they are together by the end, like they kind of reconcile, but who knows, right? I mean,
but then again, Sam is going through like her own shit throughout the entire season.
Clearly Miguel's about to.
I mean, the big one with Sam is because she's obviously training more with Johnny and Cobra Kai style, she realizes that she likes the idea of striking first and like being in control, which makes sense when somebody like Tori has, you know, traumatized her with that. So the fact that she was able to kind of flip it and push it on her, take control.
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, at the end of the day, no probably guidance counselor or parent would ever be like, that is acceptable behavior. That's okay. But I think it's a good thing that she's able to kind of regain control, because by the end of season 3, she was very fearful, which makes sense, of like Tori, and now it feels like they're kind of, you know, at a same level in terms of I can fuck you up.
Yeah.
I'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, basically.
Who's in whose head?
Yeah.
You know, it seems like that both.
And then with Tori as well, I think they did a good job of really kind of humanizing her, where she has all these problems and she's trying to figure it out, and she has a very shitty setup, unfortunately, especially with like her aunt and all that stuff.
Yeah. Was that on in the last season, or was that
No, that's the first time we've seen her.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a mention of it.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
But that was the first time we're actually seeing them.
Yeah, I thought Sam's arc was interesting with pairing her with Amanda a lot of this season, which is obviously, Tori's arc was interesting, pairing her with Amanda a lot, Sam's mom, and making her, again, you know, giving her more backstory, like they kind of did with Kreese last season, and whatnot. Now she's the U18 champion, right? She won the female side of the tournament, which is which is interesting. I don't think, you know, if we broke the season, that would have been anyone's guess, right? I think a lot of people thought Sam might come out on top, but you know, it's interesting that she won it. And
well, technically, did she win it though?
Well, that's what we see at the end, right? Like obviously the ref was paid off, so now if you know, if you go by that, she lost. But she still has the
we've
trophy.
seen professional sports where things have gone
Funky.
and
Right.
those teams have never been told to give back the trophy or
True.
whatever.
Unless you're the
So-
Patriots.
Right.
or this other team.
But Tori also has shows a great strength or a great not trait, but like she shows resilience to help, right? So Amanda like tries to give her food, she brings it right back. So to me, at least the characterization they've given this character is she will not accept that trophy if she didn't win it fairly.
So you
Oh,
think
that's a
that
good
she's
point.
going to call it out?
I think she's gonna call it out.
Oh,
and
it's
I
going to eat at her.
It's going
And
to
then
eat at
she
her.
will,
She's going
yeah.
to call it out, and I think she will ultimately like leave Cobra Kai because once again, Cobra Kai has a new sensei, and it's Terry.
Well,
It's not because Kreese
And
is
he's
going to jail.
and he's clearly all about
and,
cheating.
and she
to
saw
win.
specifically it was Terry that paid off the guy, right? So
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to want to do
And once
Cobra
she
Kai
and
anymore.
if Kreese has served as sort of her mentor,
Yeah.
when she finds out that he's gone to jail,
Yes.
I would be very curious to see how that. Like, I would think that she's going to start working to try and get him out.
So you
right?
think we got a new Eagle Fang?
we got
Potentially.
we got something. I don't know if it's Eagle Fang or if Kreese is going to create Panther Kai or something. Like,
Well, Kreese is in jail.
yeah, I know.
For now.
But like,
He'll be
but
out by episode
Tori's
2
clearly
of season 5.
his fighter.
Yeah.
right. That's where her loyalty lies.
Wait, so I'm sorry. Are we going to end up
With
by
like
end
at
of
least
season
four. At least four,
dojos?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, that or
Maybe five
Prison
because
Kai.
Shozen's showing up.
Chosen's going to help Daniel.
No,
Chosen's there.
my bold prediction. I'm calling it right now. 5 dojos.
By the end of 5?
By the end of
No.
season 5, 5 dojos.
5 dojos by the end of 6.
Nope, I'm going season 5.
Because yeah, Chosen obviously has to like feud
Yeah.
with Daniel at some
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Right.
There's gonna be like fuck you,
But
fuck you.
Kreese is going to team like we'll get to this in bold predictions. But Kreese is going to team up with like Johnny and Daniel. to
Yeah,
take
I
down
don't
Terry.
think I don't think
that's
he
the only
is.
way it's
Yeah.
going to go.
I think he's gonna come up with his own like at least for season
At first,
5.
but then he's going to team up.
As
with him.
season 5, I think it's going to be 5 dojos because it's just fucking chaos at that point.
I feel like they've made unless I want to go forever. Terry
Which they
feels like
do.
he's now like the big bad of the entire show.
Well, he's also expanding. He is franchise.
He's franchised it.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a good
making
point.
like
He's not
He's
just
also rich as fuck.
He's a rich Kreese, you know.
yeah,
yeah, and good business savvy and a cheater.
and yeah. So
Which I guess Kreese kind of is. As
he's
well,
an
but-
NFL owner.
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah. Well,
He's a
maybe
billionaire,
that's his
yeah.
ultimate. The ultimate thing is he buys the Chargers at the end of the show.
The Chargers.
Yeah, LA team.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right.
No, he's gonna make a new NFL team for the Valley, and it'll be like Cobra Kai football or something. So then you have a bunch of football players just doing karate,
Oh my god.
Called Pig Kai.
and then he pays off all the rest for like, no, that's fine, totally legal. Kick the quarterback in the face, cool.
Done.
Nice.
Yeah, that's so many dojos.
Yeah.
There's more karate styles. They should shoot Kamehameha waves at some point.
They really
real quick,
should.
Real quick, Chosen, because obviously we saw him a little bit in season 3.
Yeah.
What was his style? What was the thing that he's
So
teaching
his
Daniel?
Grandfather or someone in his family also
Learn Miyagi.
learned Miyagi.
But they use like key, like attacks.
Yeah, they're using like point, like
Oh, yeah,
pressure
yeah,
points.
So the
acupuncture or
scrolls,
something.
right?
Yep.
The scrolls are the
That's
big
right.
thing. So basically, he knows even more Miyagi-Do than Daniel because he stayed there and he learned under it.
Yep.
So he's like, you know, if we want to say like Daniel is Super Saiyan level, he's Super Saiyan God level.
Yeah.
So basically, he's a better. So we're getting a more pure form of that style, which means we're gonna have to see the opposite. What's the more pure form of Cobra Kai of
UFC
all things?
fighting.
Well, that's what Kreese and,
Oh, that
and
must
Terry
be. That's
are.
what Terry has to be, right?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, like even further though. Like,
No,
you know,
no,
as
but
they,
that's
as
but
the
Terry,
two-
but Terry's. I mean, we got very little. Well, we saw a little bit of it. Terry's fighting style is just thug, whereas the person's on the ground, keep kicking them, pick him up, punch him in the face, keep kicking them. But then I think his other big thing is the long con game,
yeah.
the psychological warfare.
That's true. You said get inside your opponent's
That
heads
exactly.
and
That's
mess
his.
with it.
I think that's his bigger
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
That's why he was right off the bat like, no more of these like stupid fights. Like, let's just play the psychological game. Like, that's his whole game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and you also
I
have to
like that.
think like there's a line that Terry drops at the very end when Kreese is being taken away. He's like, "I'll find a couple other people to take your spot while you're in jail." And so you have to
That's
remember he had a fighter in Cobra Kai 3, or not Cobra Kai 3.
Terry did.
Karate Kid 3. Yeah, that was the representative of Cobra Kai that fought Daniel at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
Right? I forget what that character's name is, but a lot of people speculate, and I think the actor's been having fun on social media that
he's coming back.
He'll be coming back.
That's awesome.
For Cobra Kai.
Especially if like Robbie is going to potentially join his father and not be like the head honcho for Cobra Kai.
Right.
You need a new head honcho.
Yeah. And a lot of people. So there was also the next Karate Kid that came out in the '90s with Hilary Swank.
Yep.
As Miyagi's next student.
Yeah.
And a lot of people and the creators have said like that's in the same universe. Like she's a character that within our universe and continuity is around.
Man.
So people want her to come as well because
Absolutely.
she was the next student after Daniel.
Yeah.
Of Miyagi.
If they're bringing everyone out of the woodwork, which they clearly are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then how's Jackie Chan and
The creators have said
Why not?
So the creators have said that Karate Kid is not part of the continuity. They said if the Karate Kid was ever mentioned as a movie within this universe, that would be the Karate Kid that they've seen.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
But they decided because that was a reboot, they want to leave that separate from like the Miyagi verse, essentially.
Sure. The Miyagi verse.
The Miyagi verse.
Love it.
Let's get into the actual tournament. Obviously, this season's building up to the big tournament.
You
know, the loser out of the 3 dojos, or I mean, at the start. Well, yeah, out of the 3 dojos.
Well, it's 2, right, to start.
2 to start, but then it ended up being 3. The winner would become the only dojo in the valley, while the other 2 had to, sync their names essentially. So it was obviously a very big tournament. How'd you guys feel about it? Was it predictable?
No. Hawk winning was not
real quick though,
predictable.
did you enjoy the light show? And can we talk about the council real quick too?
And Carrie
And
Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
And Carrie Underwood
Apparently
just showing
super
up.
fan of the show.
Okay.
So that's how they were able to get her.
Jeez.
The council stuff was hilarious as like a bit to start, and then it became overbearing.
Yes.
They went back to it 2-3 times too many times. So I was like, okay, this is. Well, at first, it seemed like they were leaving a hole open of like, we're going to vote no confidence. And we're like, oh, that's going to leave an opening for one of these characters to get onto the
council.
The council. And the
But then he
committee,
came back with Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, and then I was like, it's fine. Like that to me was just completely pointless. Like, I don't understand.
It feels
why
like it was just built in there so they had a reason.
Carrie Underwood has a more dramatic reason to appear.
Yep.
to save some.
That's amazing. She's a fan.
She's a fan of the
fan.
show.
Crazy.
Super fan.
Yeah. And
I wonder who else is a super fan of the show. Like, what are the crazy cameos?
Oh, actually, Andrew Garfield is a huge fan of Cobra Kai.
No way.
When he was doing press for Tick Tick Boom, the movie, Netflix got a bunch of the Cobra Kai cast to like send him a shout out, and he like started crying because he's like said in previous interviews, like I love Cobra Kai. It's like that's
awesome.
Only show I watch. So we have to get Spidey. We got Spidey number 2 on there to show up because Andrew Garfield would be great. I mean, he's got to show up in season 5 now, especially like feels like a no brainer.
I really hope like a Samuel L. Jackson. I hope is a fan of the show.
I hope like the Queen is. That would be funny.
Just like people like big action stars from the 80s, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They're
like
not.
folks like that. They're probably not. They're probably just like they're probably like stop
Jet Li.
rehashing the 80s, please.
It's gonna be like the most random people you can think of.
Yeah, definitely.
So Andrew Garfield,
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel Craig.
Wait, so British actors?
Yeah. It's really
the only ones that
really
British actors are the only, and Carrie Underwood, only ones that like Cobra Kai.
Who else would be the most random person you could potentially get for this show?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey?
Oprah Winfrey.
No, I could see her liking it.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't she all against like violence and shit?
I don't know what I don't know.
She
what
likes
her
to bring up
is.
the royal family drama. That's a big hobby of hers.
Oh boy.
But yeah, anyway, the tournament and the laser light show.
Well, I think Hawk winning was a good surprise.
That was a
like,
very
I was
nice
like, oh
surprise.
wow, because you thought it was going to come down to Miguel and Robbie. It ended up being Hawk, and Hawk won. Now that being said, Robbie did have a chance to win and didn't take it, showing,
he showed mercy,
showing mercy, a very un-Cobra Kai like trait. But yeah, I think Hawk winning was a nice surprise.
It was. I mean, I like how they did it because they didn't just have like Hawk be better than Robbie because that's not necessarily believable within the show's universe. Like Robbie is really
number one,
especially throughout this season. He is the best fighter of all the kids. Like he should easily win, no problem. And he does. Like he almost does beat Hawk a couple times. It takes Hawk doing the sudden overtime to win as well. Like, if it had been the best of 5,
Yeah.
you know, I think Robbie wins that 9 out of 10 times. But, like, the circumstances and how everything went down let Hawk kind of get in that one win where he's, like, still a very good fighter, but he is not the best fighter.
Also dealing with the guilt of what he just saw with Kenny as well.
Right.
Like,
Right, exactly.
The hesitation, like,
Right.
seeing Kenny's like, oh, I'm being a bad example.
Right.
Yeah.
Very bad example.
Yeah.
In terms of, you know, looking ahead, right? So obviously this season kind of ends with the tournament ends. We know that Miguel's running off to Mexico to find his father. Johnny's potentially chasing afterwards. Daniel's talking to
Chosen.
or is with Chosen, so it sounds like he's going to be helping assist.
Refusing to disband his dojo.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the point then in like making this whole thing?
Well,
if
Chris
they're-
is in jail now, right?
Right.
So the person that they made the deal with isn't even in the picture.
Well, they
to
don't know
enforce
that
it,
he's
right?
in jail per
That's
se.
true. That's true. I'm just saying
Yeah.
though, like, Chris isn't going to be around and be like, "What are you doing?"
I think they did that in case this season was going to be the last, because they had moved over to Netflix. Remember, they probably weren't sure on a production side how much leeway, how popular the show is going to be.
Right.
Because season 4 was filmed, you know, as season 3 was just coming out. So season 3 was filmed as season 1 and 2 were kind of added to Netflix. So they had no idea what the response was. Remember, it was on YouTube Red before, and it was, you know, it was popular there, but it was a smaller audience. So we're like, okay, maybe Netflix is giving us one additional season after this, and then we can wrap it up. But then it was obviously super popular. They renewed it for a 5th season as they were filming season 4. So we're like, oh, okay, we can continue on as we originally wanted. So I think that was just kind of a fail-safe for them. And now they can just blow past it and be like, yeah, but we just, you know, it was a verbal agreement. We can go back on it. Kreese is in jail.
So I think what's going to happen is I think Eagle Fang is going to kind of just disappear or take a
hiatus.
If Lawrence is running off to Mexico,
yeah.
then yeah, they have to, right?
Yeah. So I think all his students are going to end up at Miyagi-Do
Yeah.
with Chosen and Daniel. Those two are going to end up butting heads.
Right.
And that's where you get your spin-off of another dojo, like the true Miyagi.
The Chosen Sons.
The Chosen Sons or something. And then everything that's happening with Johnny in Mexico, we're going to discover that Miguel's father is clearly probably part of the cartel or something. Some really bad shit.
He has his own dojo.
Or he's got his own dojo in
if he ends
Mexico.
up having a dojo,
Yep.
that would be awesome.
Wait, I have a question for everyone.
I'm just kidding.
When
That'd
they
be
talked
terrible.
about Johnny not knowing his dad, he's like, there's no point in tracking it down. Did anyone ever get like an inkling that they're going to have it be revealed that Kreese is his dad?
Oh wow, that did not occur to me, but
Like, it felt like that was the way, especially when he reacted that way when he got beat up. I'm like, oh no, I've been going full soap opera here where everyone's dad is like everyone's rival or something.
Oh my God, no.
I did not get that impression. But now that you said it,
It's possible the
Yeah.
age matches up.
And
I
like,
hope it's not.
His weakness
but-
is Johnny because he knew it was his son, but he never could.
or he
tell
found
it was
out
his
in the
son.
last week it was his son. I don't know.
Something like
Jesus.
that. Like, it just feels like that's the way the show's going to do it.
Probably.
No,
Especially
I
the
hope
way
not. I
when
hope
they
not.
mentioned it that way, and I think they cut to a scene of like Kreese right after. It's like, oh no, please no.
Yeah. No, Miyagi is Daniel's father.
There you go. Now we're
Yeah, no one
Now
has
we're
a dad in this show, huh?
It's like a Disney show.
okay. Sam and Anthony have
An
sometimes.
absent father.
Yeah, they have a
Very
dad
absent
sometimes.
father. Selfish father. Let's look at our old bull predictions here. I don't know why mine's not in here. I may not have
Actually, I
one.
think this was your time, and you didn't fill it in, Michael. It was not my time. It might have been.
Either way,
It doesn't
Krishna's bold prediction was the semifinals were going to be Robbie, Tori, Miguel, and Sam. And we can safely say that is correct.
Well, Miguel. Well,
He was in the semifinals.
yeah, you're right. Wait.
Remember, the semifinals was before the finals, which was
Yeah.
between Hawk and Robbie.
Right.
Oh,
What we
right.
didn't know was that there was two divisions.
That was going to be two
So there's-
divisions.
So you're like
No, you're
super
right.
right, there.
Right.
Yeah.
You obviously you didn't get Eli / Hawk in there.
Yeah.
And then a few of the others that they
Yeah.
fought. I don't even remember.
You know, I'm pretty sure my
Fuck.
bold prediction was Hawk was going to win it all. I'll call it and just say that was my bold prediction. And I'm correct.
I highly doubt that. We would have memory.
Or we could just go back and look at the tape.
we could do that, but I'm just going to say you're wrong.
I'm going to say I'm right. Good job, me.
Good job.
Good job.
Sure.
And then Christian, or you're already say Christian. Arjuna has said that it was going to be Robbie versus Sam in the finals.
Before we knew
that there was going to be two divisions. So unfortunately, Arjuna was wrong.
But leaving Miguel absent, I was right because I knew Miguel would not make the finals. Because he would have been the other logical one to make the finals. And I left him out.
You're still wrong.
So I was.
You're wrong.
Really right.
They were both in the A finals.
Yeah,
Robbie and Sam.
True.
It just wasn't Robbie versus Sam.
Yeah,
I'll give you half a point.
They were versing each other. Their dojos were on different sides.
I'll give you half a point.
So if you think about it,
half. You get half.
That's like 2 points.
No.
That's how good I am.
You know what? 0.25 points.
You get 0.05 of 1%.
You get nothing.
And let's look at bold predictions for the next season, season 5. I already said that.
They've already filmed it.
I believe there's going to be 5 dojos by the end of season 5.
Love it.
A crease, a silver, Daniel, Johnny, and Chosen. What do you guys have for bold predictions for season 5?
I mean, you could say anything; it'll probably be true.
Because this show is crazy.
Crease is Johnny's father and Daniel's.
Oh man,
they're brothers.
No, I think Tori's gonna help Crease get out of jail. Crease is gonna start his own dojo with Tori as his #1 student, and it'll be called
Chosen
Cobra Fist.
Ooh,
boom.
It'll be called Never
That's for
Die.
season 5, of course.
That's a pretty good one. Junior, do you have one?
Yeah. I just don't know if I want to share it. No.
Would you like to share?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think Crease is going to team up with Johnny and Daniel, and they'll, come together to try and take down Terry sometime in season 5.
Season 7. That's season 7. way too early. I'm kidding.
Yeah, you gotta let this stuff marinate for a bit.
You gotta, you know how like to, really take their time.
Oh, here's the coldest prediction I could possibly give you. One of the kids will change dojos.
I don't see it, Juno.
Boom.
I just don't see it.
A lock.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Everyone's set in their ways. There's no way that's gonna happen.
Kyler will join Miyagi.
Kyler. Wow, what the hell?
Kyler's my favorite character. Sucks. He hasn't changed one bit.
It's true. He is
the most consistent character in this show.
Consistently a dickhead.
Hey man, I'm gonna go wait in line for Nikes.
Yeah.
Come.
God, his voice is so annoying.
Oh, he's just annoying in general. It's that time. It is that time. As always, Arjuna will kick it off.
As always. Huh?
Was Cobra Kai season 4 good?
Even though it is clearly a repeat of every other Cobra Kai season to date, it is still a lot of fun, and yes, it is good.
Wow, I'm shocked. I really thought you were going to say no.
No, it's like they have stupid one-liners. The fact that they are leaning more into
it's just ridiculous.
What is this insanity that we're living in?
Look, we had fun watching it. It wasn't like it was painful.
Right.
It takes a special show to have you sit there and commit for 6
hours. Yeah,
and
exactly.
you still had fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I've been watching this new South Korean sci-fi horror, Something in the Sea. Can't remember.
Oh, the Sebastian song from Little Mermaid, Under the Sea.
No, definitely not that. But it's a really good show, but it's heavy, and you can't sit there and watch.
You can't binge it. Yeah.
That's Squid Games.
Dangerous.
Squid Games is another show. You can only watch 2 episodes and be like, fuck.
It's too heavy. It's heavy shit. But this is a good show to just kind of binge through. Yeah. Krishna, was season 4 Cobra Kai the repeat of seasons 1, 2, and 3? Good.
And season 5. Hell yeah, it was good. I had so much fun. It's mindless, dumb fun.
Mindless? Mindless?
For the most part, yeah. There's some interesting elements in there. There's some emotional stuff going on, Nothing crazy, nothing over the top. The martial arts is great, and let's be honest, that's what you tune in for. Of course, there wasn't a ton of it in this season.
The Eli Robbie fight was the best fight of the show.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. It's like the duel of the fates of the show. Yeah. But yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it.
We should recut that to Duel of the Fates.
Arjuna, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And that's gonna. I'm kidding.
What mistakes?
Was season 4 of Cobra Kai good to you?
It wasn't. It didn't. It didn't warm up my food when I asked it to. It didn't get me some more.
It didn't
water.
warm you up.
Yeah, it didn't. It left me cold.
It didn't tingle your
So
balls.
to answer the question you directly asked me, no.
So
But Cobra Kai season 4 was good.
oh my god, I'm surprised.
I am surprised too. I really thought you two were gonna be
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I thought, not like that. It was horrible.
Yeah.
but
No, but I think within the context of the show, it's still good. Now, it's not the best season
God,
of
no.
the show.
season
And
one is the best.
I have more concerns now about the future of the show than I did going into season. Just because like I'm a little less confident that they can tell a complete story and that they're just going to want to keep doing this for 20 years. And I was like, at some point you're going to lose me.
Yeah.
If you kind of keep doing it this way. But it was still a fun ride and it was still strong. Now, if they just do like Kenny and Anthony for next season and then there's more characters that kind of come in the next season, I'm like, okay, well, I don't need this. This is
It's
the
like,
this is the Walking Dead.
It's like,
now.
oh well, we can only focus on high school.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
it.
maybe.
Because like The Walking Dead has become that in terms of like they would just cycle in new characters that come in as like new survivors, and it's like, all right, well, they've been around for 3 seasons and now they die.
That's it.
That's fair.
The end.
Yeah.
Life finds a way.
Life doesn't find a way for the survivors of Walking
They
Dead.
all die.
Basically.
The end.
And that's going to do it for us here on Was It Good? As always, we live stream our podcast here on youtube.com/wasitgood. We are active on Twitter at Was It Good. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Was It Good Pod. Definitely check out our website, wasitgood.info, where we are updating weekly with new blogs on things that we don't necessarily get to in the pod.
We have one up.
We have one up so far.
Just one.
Just Von.
It's probably working out to be about one a week, one blog post a week.
So one
the
every other
bandwidth.
week. Love it.
To be safe, once a month.
Once a quarter.
We will get one more by the end of the year.
I guarantee it.
Goodbye.
52 weeks later.